Hello, my name is Chandan Singh Sabarwal and welcome to my channel Cosmic Effect. Today we are going to be discussing about a concept in astrology known as Ashtakavarga. Ashtakavarga system of prediction is a system entirely within itself, and it is used to decipher or delineate results of transit or gochar of planets. How did Ashtakavarga system arise, and why did Maharshi Parashara mention this to his disciple Maitreya? There is a little bit of story behind this, and this is what I would like to first discuss before I can go into the deeper and more relevant aspects of Ashtakavarga. So when Maharshi Parashara in his magnum opus Bharat Parashara Hora Shastra mentioned almost about everything to Maitreya, Maitreya got damn confused and he was asking Maharshi Parashara that there is so much of information, how do I compile all of this together to make an assessment about the horoscope, and how will I know which method is working or which principle is working, and what will I do when two principles will give me opposite results. So how will I be able to solve people's problems, because Jyotish itself is very vast within itself, and there are prime or main 18 gurus or seers of Vedic Jyotish. So in a nutshell you can understand, and I can say that there are around about 18 different methods of delineating a horoscope. Many of them are lost today with the passage of time, but the one that holds around is the Parashari system of astrology that is used by 90 to 95% of astrologers. So Maharshi Parashara was kind of impressed by Maitreya's question, and he was convinced that everything he has taught to Maitreya has been fully grasped by Maitreya, and he said that grahas are incarnates of Lord Vishnu, who is Kal Purush or time personified. So he said that because the grahas are as powerful as Lord Vishnu himself, when the grahas are moving through the various arcs of time and space, the minutes, the seconds, the hours, the days, the months, the years. So it is not possible for even divine sages like Brahaspati or Vasishta, who live in the higher lokas, who have profound, immense knowledge, spiritual power, wisdom, activated third eye chakra. So these divine sages also cannot, with profound precision and accuracy, predict that when exactly a transit will happen and whether their calculations are correct, because they are trying to measure God himself, which is not possible. So he said that these divine sages, these powerful sages cannot do it. How will mere mortals in Kali Yuga be able to assess the horoscope and decide whether the assessment is correct, whether the charts, the divisional charts, the Nadi Amsa charts that they have prepared are correct, and whether their readings and assessments are correct? So he said that I will now teach to you the system of Ashtakavarga, which will completely eradicate the problem of time and space. So he said that this is such a system which has been taught to me by the Navgrahas themselves, and this is what I will teach to you. So in the Ashtakavarga system, only planet position placements are considered, and only the gross zodiacal signs are taken. The finer degrees, the finer arcs, the finer seconds, the finer minutes, they are not taken into consideration. So what happens is that a particular planet, for example, let's say Surya Graha or Sun, he will be benefic, inclined to do good, he will give good results, he will be in a good mood, he will be favorable in certain houses counted from the ascendant. He will be good in certain houses counted from the moon. He will be good in certain houses counted from his own position. He will be good in certain houses counted from Mars, from Mercury, from Venus, from Jupiter, from Saturn. The nodes Rahu and Ketu are not considered in this system because the nodes Rahu and Ketu act as proxies. They have no independent influence of their own, so they are not considered. So in this system of prediction, 8 references are considered. 7 planets from Sun to Saturn, with the Sun, Moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus and Saturn. And the last reference or pivot that is considered is the ascendant or the Lagna itself. Because the Lagna is changing every 2 hours or so in the Rasi chart, it is changing every 10 to 15 minutes in the Navamsa chart, it is changing every 2 minutes in the Shashtiyamsa chart, and it is changing every few seconds in the Ardhanadiyamsa divisional chart, which is the D300. So now you can understand that Ashtakavarga system, according to the Ashtakavarga system of calculations, even two twins born several seconds apart will not have the same calculations. So this system is very accurate, it is immensely easy to use, and it gives really astonishing and profoundly impressive results. So we are to calculate that where is the Sun benefic from all 8 references and where he is malefic. So based on the rising Lagna, the results will change dramatically, because the Sun, Moon, Mars, Mercury, Jupiter, Venus and Saturn will not change so often in Rasi, will change quickly in Navamsa, and they will change very rapidly in the Ardhanadiyamsa or D300 chart. So the calculations tend to be very different as the divisional level goes minuter and more finer. So what we do is that we give the planet a ranking or a score from 0 to 8. So if the Sun is not benefic where he is placed from all 8 references, he will get a 0. If Sun is placed in such a position where he is benefic from all 8 references, he will get a score of 8. And he can get a score of anything between 0 to 8. So now you can understand that each of the planets can get a score from 0 to 8. So from 0 to 4, we can understand that the planet is on a malefic side. From 0 to 3 actually. On the level of 4 itself, the planet will become neutral. So he will give results good and bad. He will be mixed in his nature, depending on how he transits and whom he interacts with and other conditions in the chart. Avasthas also will be there. And from 5 to 8, the planet will be increasingly proportionately doing good and benefic for the person, because he is getting more and more favorable from all the different planet references. So this is the summary of Ashtakavarga in a nutshell. Now Ashtakavarga has more finer and more precise calculations, which is known as the Shodhya Pinda, Rasi Pinda, Graya Gunkar. There are also different types of Ashtakavarga calculations. There is the Sarva Ashtakavarga, Bhinna Ashtakavarga, Prastara Ashtakavarga. So there are different types of Ashtakavarga calculations, but the total number of points attained by all the planets together across all the houses is always a fixed of 337, including ascendant. Houses also get points. So for example, the first house or your ascendant has Sun with 8 points, has another planet who's counted from that his position has 4 points, another planet has 3 points, another planet has 2 points. So they all will add up, and you might get a score of 26 in your first house. You might get a score of 33 in your second house. You might get a score of 45 in your third house. But if you get 45 in one house, obviously you will drop below 20 to 19, 18, 17 or 16 in some other house, because the total has to remain at 337. So this is also another way of understanding karma, because we are all born with certain good points, certain strong aspects, and we are all born with certain weaknesses, certain character deficits in our personality. So that can be seen through the distribution of the points in the Ashtakavarga. So you can open your chart and you can see that how Ashtakavarga points are spread across. The points which have the maximum number of benefic dots or scores in your chart, these will be the strongest areas of your life whenever benefic planets are passing such zodiacal signs as they are matching with those particular houses. So for example, let's say anybody has a horoscope which has Leo sign in the 4th house, and it has 43 points. So now you can understand that whenever benefic planets, your Mahadasha Lord or any good planets are passing through Leo sign, they will be inclined to do good, and 4th house affairs will have major benefic and profound positive impact in your life. So you will have a lot of gain, understanding and harmony with your mother, friends, relatives. You will have a lot of vehicles, you will have big houses to live in, you will have a lot of immovable and movable assets. You will always be peaceful at nature, helpful, understanding. So these are some of the traits of the 4th house that you can understand. Because it has 43 points, a lot of planets are benefic from various aspects on that particular point itself. So this is also a way of showing, the planets are showing that where you have succeeded in previous lives and they are going to give you good results. And you might find that some houses will have 19, 18, 17. So such houses and the traits associated with the house, I will be making a separate video on each of the 12 houses, where I will be discussing each of the 12 houses in detail, so that you can just understand about your life. You can just compare your life, you can just envision your life, you can think about it, and you can understand that which houses are weak, and you will start understanding your life in a more deeper and meaningful manner. So this is basically the Ashtakavarga system of prediction. It is mostly used to delineate transit or gochar results, because when planets transit from one sign to another, the points that are listed in your chart will change and the results will change. But if the planet is good in the chart itself, he is a benefic, if he is auspicious, and if he is transiting through a low point house or a sign, then he will not be able to do so much of good, but he will not harm you also, because natally he is good. But at the same time, if you have a prime malefic transiting through a very low point score house, then you can understand that he is going to do a lot of harm, because he is not good in birth chart, and in transit also he has come across a bad position. And on top of that, if you are running the Mahadasha for the said planet, then remedies immediately are a must. So I hope that you found this video to be useful. If you want to get a detailed assessment of your horoscope using the Ashtakavarga system of prediction, please feel free to contact me. You can use the links below in the description. You can also go and check out my store. And I hope you will subscribe to the channel for more content. Good luck to everyone. Thank you.